Wow, you guys are about to get KROOF raw and unfiltered. I just took a shower. I have my retainers in. I don't need my retainers in. Oh my god, that was so disgusting. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about another Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons feature. Now this feature, I gotta say, might be my favorite feature to talk about. Mostly because it is a feature that is a playground for us to utilize our new elite specializations in, and of course our old ones if we so choose. But this topic in particular is on strike missions and endgame encounters in Guild Wars 2. So let's jump in by reading the little blurb, and when I say little, I mean, let's emphasize the little. There's not much to this. So it's strike missions on the official Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons website. It reads, lead a fierce squad, battle, earn enticing rewards, and be a reckoning force. There really isn't much to go off of, and I kind of would have liked a little bit of a bigger page, a bigger splash page for strike missions in particular, considering there might be new players returning and they never played Iceboot Saga, and this is their first time going to be exposed to strike missions. So I think strike missions as a feature for the expansion could have had their own like subheader on the webpage where they went into detail, like this is your 10-player endgame content, and they will be releasing with challenge modes for even more challenges and even more rewards. But it's just here on the additional features page, when in all honesty, strike missions, I think they should be one of the main features. They really should be a main selling point, because they were the main selling point for a season, but they really weren't sold to us in a grand way, such as an expansion can be. So I think it is possibly a missed opportunity to not highlight the importance of strike missions. But nevertheless, I want to just briefly touch on the artwork, and I'm gonna save the artwork for another video. But I want you guys to keep in mind and be on the lookout for another video. Are those creatures in the foreground Tengu? Are they something else? I would like you to reminisce about that and think about it. Let it simmer in your mind and come back to me. So, End of Dragons, they have directly said that the endgame PvE content for this expansion is going to be dedicated and focused in on strike missions. Now, we have many different forms of endgame content already, this being dungeons, which was introduced in the core game, fractals, raids, and now strike missions. I guess I could also count bounties because that was kind of the endgame PvE content for Path of Fire. So hell, we'll throw bounties in there. As you can see, Guild Wars 2 has a history of creating many different categories of endgame content. And I think that ArenaNet is a company that always tries to reinvent the wheel and innovate in the MMO genre. But sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you just gotta give that wheel a nice grease, a little bit of compressed air, get all the dust out, spin it a couple times, and it's good to go. It's a wheel. I mean, hey, wheels are wheels. Nevertheless, they are leading the charge in the direction of strike missions. And they have confirmed that weeks after the expansion officially launches, the challenge modes for these strike missions will be coming to satisfy those hardcore raiders. And you know what? I might give them a couple swings or two. I might dip my toe in a challenge mode or something. But overall, my impressions of strike missions and their supposed dedication to the game mode in End of Dragons is we already have a set of strike missions, and strike missions were intended to be the transition into raiding. And so we already have a bunch of those. Now, if they're not going to be continuing with raids at the current moment, I want strike mission bosses to be designed and have a difficulty as if they were being designed as a raid boss. I think if like the first strike mission in End of Dragons, that could be pretty like, you know, chill and relaxed and, you know, introducing people into 10-player mechanics. But I want the other strike missions, even on normal difficulty, to be competent, to have a sense of we have to have like 1 or 2 specific roles. We have to understand the mechanics. We have to get maybe a timing right, a break bar, CC, learn your crowd control abilities in those strike missions. And side note, I don't want Icebrewed Saga Masteries to influence this. Get rid of those essence things, because those essence made it completely a cakewalk for crowd control. People didn't need to learn their abilities. People didn't need to learn CC because the game gave them a button to do it for free and do it instantly and easily. So honestly, I wish those would actually not even be in strike missions if they are going to be focusing on strike missions. And I want them to. Because I think strike missions are such an awesome idea for Guild Wars 2 to lead in. They are single bosses, maybe in an arena or in some corridor, something a little bit more simple than a massive raid wing with multiple bosses, multiple locations, etc., etc. So this allows them to pump out endgame content, hopefully more frequently, while still maintaining a high level of challenge and difficulty for raiders to feel satisfied. So if they are doing so, I want them to correct a couple of those things with the Icebrewed Saga, but I think that this also allows them to really make and keep a consistency in Guild Wars 2 that we might not have seen for quite some time. The next thing about strike missions would probably be rewards. Now, they have said that they are reworking the rewards, but I gotta say, the current system is very complex and strange. It's a bunch of the crystal shards, and I hope that it brings it into a more uniformed currency where we can, of course, acquire ascended weapons, ascended gear, etc., etc., and allow people a source of endgame currency to kind of focus on. And with that, I would like to see some new skins and new armor pieces, of course. The strike missions did introduce one new armor set, which I actually really enjoy and I think was pretty well received. And I think it'd be cool if we had an accompanying weapon set, and after that, go into another armor set piece. So in summary, strike missions are coming, and I really want them to be focused on strike missions. I want them to refine them in a way that feels like a satisfying endgame boss. And of course, having multiple to begin with will be really great on launch. And I hope that we will get like probably maybe 5 strike missions at launch a couple weeks after the challenge modes come in. And then Living World, I honestly wouldn't mind if we got 1 or 2 more strike missions. And then I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see a raid at the very end of a Living World season. I think having 1 raid wing for a Living World as more of a wrap up to maybe a side story would not be such a bad idea, and it would once again prove that strike missions could be a transition into raiding. Now, if strike missions are an absolute hit and we see a large endgame community really gravitate towards strike missions, I honestly wouldn't mind not seeing another raid for probably like another year or 2. Or I don't know, if they really make it amazing, and if I really enjoy it and everyone else does, hey, go full steam ahead with the strike missions. So I think that is my long ramble about Guild Wars 2 strike missions and raids and future endgame encounters. Overall, I'm very excited to see them, and especially with elite specializations coming, it'll be the perfect area to really test new and cool builds. I hope we get to see a lot of complexity in these strike missions, no basic stuff. I want to see boons. I want to see enemies apply conditions. I want to see enemies just ramp up the boons consistently where spell breakers can be useful in a strike mission. I want to see CC. I want to see ads popping up. I want to see a ranged phase where people who are at range get a little bit more of a reason to switch to their ranged weapon. Okay, I can ramble on and on so much longer about strike missions and ramble on and on very incoherently, but I hope that made some sense. Thank you everyone so much for coming. I am an official ArenaNet partner, which means I have links down below where you can pre-order Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons, buy the existing expansions, and try Guild Wars 2 for free. If you use those links, it directly helps support me and the channel, so I greatly appreciate it. Like, share, comment down below what you think about strike missions, and if you'd like to help support the channel, you can become a patron, get early videos, and exclusive content, and an exclusive Discord channel. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye everyone!